And I finally thought, hey, I'm going to pick up my iPhone and start shooting this. And it just didn't stop. It just kept going. So I believe it was about 90 whole seconds of shaking from 205 miles away.
Girls, get away from the windows.
Doug, you are a first-time caller calling from Ecuador. Video link of a 7.8 near Ecuador, and you actually have a link here. So can you explain this?
Yeah, actually, I'm actually from Oregon. I experienced the spring break quake back in '94, an Oregon resident, and that was scary. That was a scary thing. We were about probably 15 miles away from the Scotts Mills epicenter. And that's the first one I ever experienced. I have not experienced anything ever since until we moved to Ecuador about 5 years ago. And I did not know that this was such a geologically active area, although we're in Cuenca, which is a pretty safe area in terms of stability. However, what we have experienced is large, distant earthquakes. And what I'd like to kind of bring to attention is that what I've learned is, hey, if you are far away, I mean, I'm talking about the 7.8 I experienced was in 2016. Never shared this video before. I see you kind of have it up there on your screen. We've shared it with our Facebook friends, but that was a closed group. That was a pretty devastating quake for Ecuador. And the experience we had was I was 204 miles away. I'm a video editor, and I was sitting here editing one evening about 7 o'clock, and my screens started shaking, my desk started shaking. That went on for about 30 seconds. And I finally thought, hey, I'm going to pick up my iPhone and start shooting this. And it just didn't stop. It just kept going. So I believe it was about 90 whole seconds of shaking from 205 miles away, which ironically is about the same distance that I lived from Seattle at the time I lived in Oregon. So to me, that was just an unimaginable, crazy experience. And it made me realize I really kind of want to get the word out there. Hey, if you think you're far away from an epicenter or a seismically active place, the story is this: that you will experience it if it's a high number, and that's kind of why I contacted you.
So so apparently you are actually sharing with us, which is amazing, a video that you've never shared before, and this is your experience in the Ecuador 7.8 earthquake.
Yeah, this is your exclusive, Mark. We were actually in a pretty safe place. There was a lot of shaking. It was very scary, but it's the sound that will get you. And you'll be able to see my screen shaking in the beginning. And the general experience was very uneasy.
Okay.
And, I can't imagine being at the epicenter.
I'm going to play it right now. Thank you so much for sending this. Okay, one sec.
Girls, get away from the windows.
Doug, grab the ladder. Hurry before it, grab it! Before it falls.
Okay, girls.
Stay there holding on to me, it's okay. It's okay, Nana.
How's she doing? How's your mom doing?
She's a little freaked out.
I think my tummy got an earthquake
It's okay.
too.
It's okay.
Ugh.
It's any molding or anything like that.
I would hold on to the couch.
I can still see the buildings over there shaking a little bit.
Can I see that?
That was a long long one.
That was nice and long.
And usually
The wires, because I could see the wires moving. And why are all...
Everybody, there's a lot of people outside.
well, there's a bunch of people that. What building did they come out of, Doug?
This building.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm gonna pause this. I'm gonna go back to that sound here in a second. That was so long, and I don't think people realize, like, that's a 7.8. A 9.0, when that happens, it's gonna be a 5-minute plus. Long would you say that was? I think that was actually, we could probably time it, but I don't know. Did you get it from the beginning?
No. It shook for a good 30 seconds before I ever picked up. It was a gentle shake, but it was definitely quite an experience. It was like, okay, something is coming here. And so my iPhone was right on my desk. I picked it up, swiped it to the camera, and just started shooting from that point. And that's where you pick up. It's 30 seconds in. So that was about 90 seconds of full shaking. And it didn't kick in until 15 seconds after I started rolling. But hey, I mean, it goes further. We can talk about this quake, and then we can talk about the next quake, which is a completely different experience, but not shot. But this gives you an idea. Now
again, is that inside? You're kind of in one of those condominium kind of buildings, right? It looks like you're kind of high up.
Yeah.
And
I'm on the top floor of a 5-story condominium. Yeah.
Well, it's a beautiful place. God, the round windows. Oh, it's gorgeous. And so when you moved here, you didn't kind of realize that and by the way, I've seen a lot of earthquakes out of Ecuador and Chile, just nuts.
Yeah.
And you've sat through all of those, right?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, and you know what? I'm the biggest worrier of earthquakes there could probably ever be, but I'm living through them now. This is like routine, but we get bumps all the time. Now this was a big one, and
you were relatively calm. You were calm for this,
well, yeah,
or at least it seems that way.
I can tell you, I hate them. I don't like them, and I feel like after experiencing so many of them, you feel like a fish in a blender. It's like, when is the next one going to come? And it will. I mean, I know we're going to experience more now that we've been down here. But again, the first one that I experienced was in Oregon, the spring break quake back in '94. I was in Oregon. I was born and raised in Oregon, lived there for my first 50 years. Now I'm 55. I've been here in Ecuador for 5 years. So we've experienced a lot of earthquakes. In fact, more than I can't tell you how many, large and small, little bumps, medium, that kind of thing. But it's the kind of thing that's like, hey, wait a minute though. I didn't even know about Cascadia until I moved here. I would rather be here than back in Oregon at this point. Knowing what the USGS came out with, I've really kept track. So, anyway, there's also the 8.0 that was experienced just a few months ago. That was 2 full minutes of shaking, but that was over 300 miles away in Peru.
Wow, that's incredible. And this is him sitting through an earthquake, and this is how it affected him. 205 miles away from the epicenter. That is big.
Yep. If you live in Salem, Oregon, you are 205 miles away from Seattle. Seattle had that size quake. This is exactly. I mean, I don't know. There could be different barriers, different geological, effects. But I would imagine this is what you would expect in Salem, Oregon, from 205 miles away. If they were to have a 7.8 in, say, the Puget Sound area.
Now I'm going to play the sound. I'm going to play the sound again, and then I would love to. So, are you in Ecuador? Or are you currently living there, and you're there for good, right?
Oh yeah, I'm a permanent resident in North Ecuador right now. I'm a video editor. We actually run a YouTube channel as well.
I would love to connect with you because you are somewhere where we don't have eyes and ears. So I mean, I'm sure it's pretty crazy there right now.
That kind of thing. That's not the only reason. We came down here for a lot of reasons. I moved my whole family. I tell people I moved my every last paper clip down here. We had a shipping unit and we're happy. You know, it's a good life. It's a good life down here. But
well, I'm sure money goes a bit further there, right? Or is it the same, or is it worse?
Oh no, absolutely. I will tell you that in every aspect of life, money goes very far here. I'm still working for advertising agencies. I'm a video editor, and what I can tell you is that if you love electronics, this is not the place to live because there's heavy tariffs. But which is not good for me because I'm a video guy, right? But
yeah, laptops are $3,000 and things like that.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, let me play the sound of this again. I would love to connect with you. I will reach out to you separately. Doug, thank you so much for calling in. And if I hope you don't have another one of these, but if you do, send me the footage. I would love to get it out there before anybody else. I hope that never happens, though, because Doug, it was nice talking to you.
What I can tell you is that I'm still here. I'm still comfortable. You know, if these things happen all the time, and if I felt there was a real threat, I'd be out of here in an instant. Honestly, it is not fun. It's the kind of thing where you think, okay, is this it? I mean, honestly, is this the moment we're gonna go? I mean, that's the feeling you get. The video that you're playing, it's the sound really that conveys that. So you got to just, you know, crank it up and just take a listen to all of the.
I actually had to crank it down. It was totally. I mean, it was at the higher end, and then it really started shaking, and it was peaking so hard I was worried about blowing phones out. All right, you have a great night,
Yep.
Doug. Much love to you and yours, and be safe. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. Enjoy your show. Thanks.
Great footage from Doug. That was amazing. All right, you guys. So if you want to help this channel and if you want to protect yourself, NordVPN is offering our viewers a special discount. You can actually get savings up to 84% off of their plans. You need to add the code Marfoogle in. A lot of people have been kind of excited that we were able to partner up with Nord. If you're a creator or even if you are a watcher, again, Dex, explain what you explained to me, you know, about the whole email thing. A lot of these people open up YouTube links and all sorts of things. I mean, it's no bueno.
Absolutely. You can get hit by what they call a man-in-the-middle attack. Any one of us is susceptible to that. If you click a link in your email, you click a link from a text message, you click a link that you're reading in, you know, a chat room somewhere, that could actually be a plant to get you to click on it, and it could take you somewhere that seems safe and is normal, and you go about your business, but there was a man in the middle that captured your IP, and then they come in and they try to attack your network. Having a VPN helps prevent that and helps put your IP someplace else, so they can't come in and attack your network.
Well,
and the other one is when you're in a Wi-Fi location and not have the bad guy literally sit there and sniff out everything you're doing. These guys can open up the software on a computer and sniff everything that you're doing on the internet on a public Wi-Fi. You don't want that happening.
So you're sitting in Starbucks or you're sitting in Target or wherever you may be, just even browsing, and your phone might even be, you know, set to automatically hook up to Wi-Fi. I know a lot of people do that. Then somebody else there. If you don't think that there are people that they spend their entire day going to public spots like Starbucks and they log into stuff and then they get your information, they get your credit cards, they get everything, and then they order stuff. This helps our channel as well. We're constantly looking for new affiliate marketing stuff that can actually support the channel, but at the same time help the Foogle family do something good for their life or help them in some way. This can protect you. It's a huge deal, and you can use up to 6 devices with it. So you can do your phone, your laptop, your tablet, especially if you have kids, you know, browsing the internet, all that kind of stuff. You want to set yourself anywhere else. That's a big deal. So marfooglenews.com/VPN. Of course, keep the bad guys out, all sorts of good stuff. Again, that's marfooglenews.com/VPN, and then an EMP shield to protect your home. Again, we are constantly looking for something, you know, that will actually protect you, save your life, or make your life better. EMP shield is going to save countless lives when and if we have a EMP or a solar, an actual coronal mass ejection. So I think it's just a matter of time. I know we will have a coronal mass ejection. I know we'll have a CME happen. It's just a matter of when. As far as EMP, there is a huge threat against it, and that's why our president actually signed a bill right after the Homeland Security said that we need to have 6 months of food prepped. That's not a theory, right? That's an actual threat. That's an actual thing that happened. The Homeland Security actually came out and told us straight up, you need to have 6 months to a year of food. If all of our power goes out, they say that 90% of us would perish. Again, if you have the EMP shield, it will protect anything wired to it, including they have different models. Again, they have the vehicle models. They also have the ham radio models. They have the generator models. The vehicle and the generator, I think, are the two most important other than the home model. Again, if your generator runs after 30 EMPs or 20 CMEs, that's a huge deal. That means doesn't matter what else the rest of the grid is doing, you have a generator that works, and you don't have to keep it in an 8-foot Faraday cage. Again, that's at marfooglenews.com/EMP.
You want to know what's going on? What's really going on when it happens? Go to marfooglenews.com and get Marfoogle alerts along with a Discord invitation where you can find your local state group and get together with the Foogle Fam. You'll find fast friends where you'll share prep and intel, and there's even special groups for former and current military. But don't try and steal the valor of those who have really served. It won't go well for you. The Marfoogle Fam is waiting for you.